Do you aim train for hours but still die every time you peek somebody? Then that's not your aim, that's your movement mechanics. Most players, when they watch their favorite Valorant pro, they get surprised with their insane aim. And to be like them, they start aim training, but even after putting thousands of hours, they see no improvements. That's because you don't realize how good and well coordinated their movement is. Regardless of how good your aim is, if you don't know how to move properly, you will always die the moment you peek somebody. Hey everybody, I'm Sayan, a Valorant Radiant coach, and in this video, I'll be going through everything that can fix your movement mechanics. I'll be answering all the questions like how to peek, when to crouch, or how to counter strafe during aim fights. Every time I watch a low elo player, they always tend to spam 80-80 movements and just wide swing everything, which obviously is not a good habit. So let's start with the most basic thing, peeking. So there are a lot of different type of peeks in Valorant, and we'll be covering most of them. But before we start with that, let me teach you how angles work in Valorant. Even in the year 25, most players don't realize that the camera is mounted to your head, so the shoulders will always stick out first. And somebody who's holding or peeking from a long distance will always see you first. So make sure you have that in your mind when you're positioning yourself or peeking an angle. Another thing that you must know is how the distance from the wall works. Just have a look at this clip for example. Okay, so basically if I'm closer to the wall, it's gonna appear much faster on the enemy screen. But again, he's gonna see my shoulder first. But if I just step further away, we're gonna see each other at the same time, but it's gonna be much slower. So how do you use this information to your advantage? Well, quite simple. When you're clearing an angle or just finding information, just stay farther away from the wall. And when you're 100% sure that somebody is holding that specific angle, just stick close to the wall and wide swing him. For the sake of this video, we'll be calling that xhair. Xhair is a CSGO player that sort of invented this peek way back in 2017. And it is really easy to pull off. You just want to align your crosshair and swing while pre-firing and just tap crouch at the end of the peek. And the enemy won't even get a chance to react. But the problem is if you predict him at the wrong spot, you are dead. So it's like really risky. Now let's learn something simple and safer. The safest way to peek in Valorant is slicing. It's a technique where you only use short and tight peeks to clear angles. And you'll be exposing yourself to just one angle at a time. So it works really well when you just want to find information or take uncommitted fights. And the best part is since you didn't commit into the fight, you can easily fall back if you miss your shots. But you should never do it in front of an opper or something like a headhunter. Now if you want, you can combine both slicing and xhair peek to pull off something like this. And most of the time, opponents won't even know how to react to that, so they will just stand there like an NPC and you can easily send them to the spectate mode. If you want to practice your xhair peek and slicing, you can easily do that in the practice range. Just hit practice bots and come over here to this wall. Now pretend you are in a ranked game and try to use different type of peeks here. Now if you're constantly overshooting, that means your counter strafing is not that good. I have seen some YouTube videos where they talk about how counter strafing isn't really that important in Valorant, but I completely disagree with that. If you don't counter strafe or hit the opposite key, you will have less control over your movement. And not only that, but you're more likely to miss your shots when you peek somebody. Counter strafing is a really important aspect of movement, so you must learn it. So again, hit practice bots and get somewhere around the middle of the range. Now just pull out a Vandal or a Phantom, whichever you prefer. Then just try to do what I'm doing on the screen. The goal here is quite simple. You just want to constantly move and hit taps without missing the first shot. And if you feel like your aim is holding you back here, you can check out my aim guide. The link is in the description. Now once you're done with this, you can move on to the next step. Come over here to this spot and again pull out a Vandal or a Phantom. Now quite simply shoot them in the head but without moving your mouse. You just want to use your movement to land your crosshair on the head and then just shoot it. Now let's move on to the most asked question. Should you crouch? And if yes, when? So my answer to that question is crouching is actually good. Crouching isn't a bad habit, but you should know when to crouch and where to crouch. If you think you can swing and kill somebody 50 meters away while crouch spraying, then you're definitely wrong. But if you just tap the crouch button while you're taking a fight, it will actually make you a very difficult target to hit. But mostly crouching is only good at medium distances. Now let's talk about the real topic, how to move during aim fights. Most people in Valorant think that you move in aim fights to be a difficult target to hit, but that's actually wrong. And that's why most of your gunfights look like this. The actual reason to move during gunfights is to reset your gun. Or you can quite simply move when the enemy is about to shoot. If you pull off both the things together, you will actually start winning more aim duels and you will whiff less bullets. And also you should constantly track their head when you're trying to counter strafe. I've seen a lot of players just not moving their mouse at all or flicking all over the place. And both these habits mess up your gunfights. And the most important tip for the low rank players is to be confident during gunfights. You could be crazy good at the game, but if you don't have enough confidence, you will always have a shaky aim. Okay, so that's it for today's video, and do let me know what topic do you want to see in the next video and make sure to follow for more content like this.